You just picked up your phone. Not because anything happened, not because someone called you, you just picked it up. And here's the uncomfortable part. You've probably done that over 100 times today, maybe more. Studies show the average person checks their phone 186 times a day. That's roughly every 6 minutes they're awake. And 81% of people check it within the first 10 minutes of waking up, before coffee, before the bathroom, before saying a word to another human. So why? What is actually happening inside your brain that makes this so automatic, so hard to stop? That's exactly what we're going to find out. Welcome to Inside Ordinary Things, where we take ordinary things, things you see, use, and do, and explain what's actually going on inside. Now, before we get into the science, I want to plant something in your head. By the end of this video, you'll understand that your phone wasn't accidentally designed to feel like this. It was engineered, deliberately, with a very specific understanding of how your brain works, to keep you coming back, over and over. And once you see the mechanism, you genuinely can't unsee it. But to understand it fully, we need to go back to the 1930s. And we need to talk about a rat. Your brain runs on a chemical called dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, the thing that releases when something good happens. But neuroscientists discovered something more precise than that. Dopamine isn't really about pleasure. It's about anticipation. Dopamine surges most powerfully in the moments before a reward, in that window of not knowing what's coming. The suspense itself is the trigger. Think about the last time you got a notification. That small buzz or ping. Before you even looked at the screen, there was a tiny flicker of excitement, a pull. What is it? Who sent it? Could be something good. That flicker? That's dopamine. Not because the notification turned out to be important, not because it even mattered, just because for 1 second it was unknown. And that's where the rat comes in. In the 1930s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner built a simple box: a rat, a lever, and a food dispenser. When the rat pressed the lever, it got food. Every single time. Predictable, reliable. The rat pressed the lever when it was hungry, then stopped. Then Skinner changed one thing. Instead of always delivering food, the lever would deliver food sometimes. Randomly, unpredictably, the rat lost its mind. It pressed the lever constantly, compulsively, far more than when the reward was guaranteed, because now there was always a chance, and that chance kept the dopamine firing. Skinner called this a variable reward schedule, and he found it was the most powerful behavioral pattern he could create, more addictive than any fixed reward. Now think about what happens when you open Instagram, or TikTok, or your inbox. Sometimes there's something great, sometimes it's completely empty. Sometimes there's a message that makes your whole day. Sometimes it's just an ad. You never know. It's always different. Always unpredictable. That pull to refresh gesture on your phone? Same lever. Same mechanism. Just a much shinier box. And here's the part that most people don't realize. This wasn't accidental. Former employees at Google and Facebook have publicly stated that variable reward schedules were deliberately built into these platforms. Tristan Harris, a former Google design ethicist, described in detail how these systems were engineered for maximum psychological pull, and later testified about it before the US Senate. The timing of notifications isn't random either. It's designed. The delay between sending a message and getting a reply, sometimes that gap is artificially stretched. Not because the app is slow, because a slightly delayed reward makes the brain lean in harder. Same with the spinning circle when new content loads. The content is already there. The wait is the point. Even half a second of uncertainty is enough to keep dopamine primed. Every red badge, every satisfying click sound, every smooth scroll animation, all of it built by teams of engineers and behavioral psychologists whose one job is to keep you coming back. But here's where it gets genuinely strange. Have you ever felt your phone vibrate, reached for it, and found nothing? No message, no notification, nothing at all. Your phone didn't vibrate. You imagined it. This is called phantom vibration syndrome, and multiple studies have found that nearly 90% of people have experienced it. 90%. What this means is that your brain has become so primed to expect a notification, so trained to watch for that signal that it starts generating the sensation on its own, without any input from the phone. You haven't lost your mind. Your brain has simply learned very efficiently to expect a reward, and it wants that reward so badly it invented the trigger. Now here's the layer that most people completely skip over. None of this is really about technology. Technology just found something that was already there. Humans are wired for novelty at a deep evolutionary level. For most of human history, new information could mean food, danger, a potential mate, or a threat from a neighboring group. The brain that paid attention to what was new survived. The brain that ignored it didn't. Your brain does not know the difference between a predator approaching and a new notification. It just knows something changed. Pay attention. And here's the second layer. It's not just novelty your brain is chasing. It's social information. Knowing where you stood in your social group was, for most of human history, a matter of survival. Who likes you? Who doesn't? Who's rising in status? Your brain treated this as urgent information because it was. Social media plugs directly into that ancient circuit. Every like, every comment, every view count, your brain processes all of it as social data, status data, and it wants more. This is why scrolling through other people's posts can leave you feeling oddly hollow. You consumed a huge amount of social signals, but none of them were actually about you. Your brain went looking for real social feedback and got back a highlight reel. And here's the cruel irony. The emptier it feels, the more you scroll. Because your brain is still waiting for the reward that never quite arrives. Smartphones didn't create these weaknesses. They found ancient ones and built an industry on top of them. When you check your phone 186 times a day, you're not broken. You're not weak. Your brain is doing exactly what brains do, chasing what might be interesting, what might matter, what might tell you something about where you stand. The problem is that someone built the machine that's very, very good at pretending it always might. So knowing all this, what actually changes? Probably not everything. You'll still check your phone, but the next time you reach for it and there's no real reason, you'll catch yourself. You'll recognize the pull for what it is. Not urgency, not need, just a dopamine loop doing what it was trained to do. And that moment of recognition, that's actually where choice begins. The goal isn't to stop using your phone. The goal is to stop being used by it. That's your brain on notifications. Thanks for watching Inside Ordinary Things. Don't forget to hit like, it really helps. Subscribe for new videos every week. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you. And if there's something you've always wondered about, why you do a certain thing, why something works the way it does, leave it in the comments. We read everything and we'll definitely make a video on that topic. Next one. Why you procrastinate. Spoiler, it has nothing to do with laziness. Not even close. See you there.